America isn't just divided by race, it's divided by a hierarchy, one that places black Americans at the bottom, holding up everyone else. This caste system isn't an accident. It's been carefully constructed over centuries to maintain power for a select few. The thing is, caste doesn't wear a label. It's built into the systems we live with every day, from education to healthcare to criminal justice. And once you start seeing it, you can't unsee it. People love to say the police are here to protect and serve, but protect and serve who? Policing isn't about public safety, it's about control. Over-policing black neighborhoods, stop and frisk policies, and even small-town police forces with military-grade weapons. This isn't about keeping people safe, it's about maintaining the status quo. And if the system feels broken, it's because you're not the one it was built to serve. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Not all harm comes from the outside. During the war on drugs, some black leaders supported tough-on-crime policies, hoping to save their communities. Instead, it led to mass incarceration and devastating consequences. Good intentions collided with systemic racism, proving that even when you're fighting for your community, the system can turn your efforts into weapons against you. Emancipation didn't end slavery, it rebranded it. Convict leasing, sharecropping, and black codes forced black Americans into systems of unpaid labor for generations after 1865. Plantations didn't disappear, they just turned into prisons and company towns. This wasn't a glitch in the system, it was the system, and its legacy shapes labor and racial inequality to this day. The Great Migration wasn't just about moving north for opportunity, it was about escaping terror. Millions of black families fled the South, running from lynch mobs, Jim Crow laws, and daily acts of violence. But the North wasn't a safe haven. It had its own version of segregation and discrimination. These families weren't just seeking a new home, they were trying to survive. And the challenges they faced are still woven into the fabric of this country, even in diverse schools. Black kids often stick together, and it's not because they don't want to mix, it's because they're navigating a system that wasn't built for them, and they find strength in community. Understanding why kids self-segregate isn't about blaming them, it's about seeing how the system divides people even when it pretends it doesn't. You know what happens every time black Americans make progress? A backlash, Reconstruction, enter Jim Crow. Civil rights gains, cue the war on drugs. The election of Barack Obama, say hello to MAGA. White rage isn't loud or obvious. It's systemic, calculated, and devastatingly effective at rolling back progress. Every step forward is met with a deliberate effort to shove things back to the way they were. Black Americans have been exploited in the name of science for centuries, treated as lab rats instead of patients. The Tuskegee syphilis study is just the tip of the iceberg. Forced sterilizations, unethical experiments, and unequal care are all part of the story. These aren't just horrors from the past, they're the foundation of today's healthcare disparities. The system wasn't built to heal black bodies, it was built to exploit them. Think affirmative action is controversial now. Imagine a version where it was explicitly for white people. After World War II, programs like the GI Bill helped millions of families build wealth and enter the middle class, unless you were black. Redlining, exclusion, and outright racism locked black families out of those benefits, while white families gained a head start they've been passing down for generations. Segregation wasn't just about personal prejudice, it was federal policy. Redlining, zoning laws, and government-backed practices locked black families out of homeownership and starved their communities of investment. White suburbs flourished while black neighborhoods were systematically denied the resources to thrive. This wasn't just discrimination, it was policy, written into the fabric of America's cities.